Have you ever lain awake at night thinking about all the times you said yes when you wanted to say no? That empty feeling in your chest when you realize you're living the life others designed for you, not the one you chose. You look around and see mediocre men being respected while you, who try to be good to everyone, are invisible, used, discarded. You wake up every morning with the weight of knowing that your kindness hasn't given you respect. It's only turned you into everyone's plan B, into the safe option that nobody truly values. You see how other men set boundaries, say no without blinking, and are admired for it, while you apologize for existing and nobody takes you seriously. The truth hurts, but someone has to tell you. You're suffering because you still believe that being good to everyone is going to give you what you want, and the only thing it's giving you is a life of silence, frustration, and accumulated resentment. Before we continue, I need you to understand something fundamental. This is not a video to entertain you with images flashing on the screen every 3 seconds. This content was created to teach you something that can radically change the way you relate to the world, but only if you pay real attention to what you're hearing. We're not going to waste time with mind-blowing edits designed to hold your attention like you're a child. This is for men who are tired of suffering, who are ready to understand why their indiscriminate kindness has turned them into victims, and who want to learn the principles that separate respected men from trampled men. If you came looking for distraction, there are thousands of videos out there. If you came looking for real transformation, stay and listen to every word as if your future depended on it, because it probably does. I've studied for years the fundamental difference between men who are respected and men who are used, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that the dividing line isn't intelligence, it's not money, it's not even talent. The dividing line is the ability to say no, to establish clear boundaries, to understand that being good to everyone doesn't make you a good person. It makes you a person without your own identity. When you observe men like Thomas Shelby, the first thing you notice isn't his violence or his coldness. It's his absolute clarity about who deserves his time, his energy, his loyalty. Shelby isn't good to everyone. He's strategic with his kindness. He reserves it for those who have proven value, for those who are in his inner circle, for those who can offer something in return. The rest of the world receives exactly what it deserves. Professional indifference, calculated distance, minimum respect. And here's the principle that's going to change your perspective. Your current suffering doesn't come from the world's evil. It comes from your inability to discriminate between who deserves your kindness and who is simply taking advantage of your pathological need to be liked by everyone. I'm going to share with you 7 brutal truths that explain why you're suffering and how you can stop doing it. Principles I've observed in every powerful man I've studied. Rules that work the same in the boardroom, in prison, on the street, anywhere men compete for limited resources and scarce respect. The first truth is this: being good to everyone isn't a virtue. It's a psychological disease called need for external approval. Let me explain the fundamental difference. A virtuous man consciously chooses when to be generous, when to help, when to extend his hand. A man sick with indiscriminate kindness doesn't choose anything. He simply reacts from visceral fear of rejection, from childish terror of being left alone. When you study the psychology behind this, you discover something disturbing. Most men who consider themselves good are actually cowards disguised as saints. They're so afraid of conflict, so terrified of confrontation, have so much need for constant validation that they prefer to betray themselves 1,000 times rather than risk someone seeing them as bad. Thomas Shelby understands something you don't understand yet. The perception of boundless kindness doesn't generate respect, it generates contempt. People don't respect what's always available, what never says no, what can be taken without consequences. They respect what's scarce, what's valuable, what has an entry price. Your indiscriminate kindness has turned you into the emotional equivalent of a dollar bill on the sidewalk. Anyone can pick it up. Nobody truly values it. The practical application is brutal but necessary. Identify in your life how many times in the last week you said yes when you wanted to say no. How many times you sacrificed your time, your energy, your peace of mind for people who wouldn't do the same for you. That number will tell you exactly how much you're suffering from this disease. The second truth is that your universal kindness is fueled by an implicit contract that nobody else signed. In your unconscious mind exists this equation. If I'm good to everyone, everyone will be good to me. If I help everyone, everyone will help me. If I never say no, nobody will say no to me. It's a unilateral contract that only exists in your imagination, but that governs each of your decisions. The devastating problem is that the rest of the world not only didn't sign that contract, they don't even know it exists. While you keep mental count of every favor you did, every time you sacrificed yourself, every occasion when you put others' needs before yours, expecting that someday life will return all that accumulated kindness, the universe keeps operating under completely different rules. The universe's rules are these. People take what they can take, use what's available to be used, exploit the weaknesses they detect. Not from inherent evil, but because that's how human nature works when there are no consequences. Observe how strategic leaders operate. They offer value, yes, but always with clear expectations of reciprocity. They give, but never more than they receive. They invest in relationships, but only in those that demonstrate return. Shelby doesn't help someone expecting cosmic karma to return the favor. He helps someone and makes crystal clear what he expects in return. Or he simply doesn't help. Your suffering comes from living in a fantasy world where you believe your kindness protects you, when in reality it marks you as easy prey. The solution is painful but liberating. Cancel that imaginary contract today. Stop keeping count of your kindness as if they were points the universe owes you. Start operating under explicit reciprocity, not under implicit hope. The third truth completely destroys the illusion. The people who take most advantage of your kindness are the ones who respect you least. This is the cruel paradox nobody explained to you. Intuitively, you think that the kinder you are to someone, the more they'll value you, the more they'll respect you, the more they'll want to take care of you. The psychological reality is exactly opposite. When someone can access your time, your energy, your help without any effort, without any price, without any consequence for abusing it, their primitive brain automatically categorizes those resources as low value. It's basic biology. We value what costs us to get. We despise what's given to us without limits. I've seen this in every imaginable context, from family relationships to corporate dynamics. The child who receives everything without effort despises the parents who sacrifice for him. The employee who never receives consequences for low performance loses all respect for the permissive boss. The partner who knows you'll always forgive, that you'll always be there no matter how they treat you, loses attraction, loses respect, loses interest. Thomas Shelby would never allow anyone to access his resources without paying the corresponding price, and that's why every interaction with him has weight, has meaning, has consequences. When you do something for someone in his world, it's not because you're his unconditional friend, it's because you served his strategic interests, and he'll serve yours in calculated reciprocity. The practical application requires courage. Identify the 3 people in your life who most take advantage of your kindness. Those who always seek you when they need something but are never available when you need them. Those who take and take without ever giving. Now ask yourself honestly, how much do these people really respect you? How much do they value your presence in their lives? The answer is going to hurt, but it's the first step toward liberation. The fourth truth is that your fear of saying no is ruining your life more than any rejection you could receive. Let me take you to an uncomfortable place in your mind. Think about the last time someone asked you for something you didn't want to do, something you knew was going to cost you time, energy, peace of mind. You felt that tension in your chest, that voice in your head saying, say no, establish a boundary, protect yourself. But instead of listening to that voice, you swallowed your discomfort and said yes, probably even with a forced smile. Now comes the devastating question. What was worse, the momentary discomfort you would have felt saying no, or the accumulated resentment, the lost time, the drained energy that resulted from saying yes? The answer is always, always the second option. Your fear of momentary conflict is creating permanent conflict in your life. Your terror of 5 seconds of discomfort is generating 5 years of suffering. When you study how men of power handle requests, petitions, demands on their time, you discover something fascinating. They don't feel guilt saying no. They feel clarity. They don't experience rejection as something personal. They experience it as efficient administration of limited resources. Shelby has exactly 24 hours in his day like any other man, but he treats them as the most valuable resource he possesses. Every hour has a price. Every minute has a purpose. When someone asks him for something that doesn't serve his strategic interests, the answer is no, without elaborate explanations, without unnecessary apologies, without paralyzing guilt. Simply no. The reason you can't do this is because you built your entire identity around being the one who's always available, who always helps, who never disappoints. But that identity is a prison you built yourself, and the key was always in your pocket. Liberation comes when you understand this. People who truly value you will respect your boundaries. Those who get angry when you say no only valued you for what they could extract from you. Let them go. Losing people who only wanted you for your infinite availability isn't loss, it's necessary cleansing. The fifth truth connects everything. Respect doesn't come from what you give, it comes from what you refuse to tolerate. This is probably the most important lesson I can teach you about the nature of human respect. All your life, they told you that to be respected, you need to be good, be generous, be helpful. Completely false. Genuine respect, the visceral respect that makes people think twice before disrespecting you, comes from your clearly established and fiercely defended boundaries. Observe any figure of real authority, not those who have empty titles, but those who exercise effective power. What defines them isn't how much they give, it's how much they refuse to tolerate. The respected father isn't the one who gives everything to his children. It's the one who establishes clear limits and inevitable consequences. The respected leader isn't the one who pleases everyone. It's the one who maintains high standards and doesn't negotiate fundamental values. The respected relationship isn't one where one person sacrifices infinitely for the other. It's one where both know exactly what behaviors cross unacceptable lines. Thomas Shelby is respected, feared, admired, not because he's generous with his time or his resources, but because everyone knows with absolute certainty that there are lines you can't cross with him without paying a severe price. That clarity, that predictability of consequences, that unshakable firmness is what generates true respect. Your boundless kindness does exactly the opposite. It communicates that you have no lines, that everything is negotiable, that they can do whatever they want with you without real consequences. The practical application starts today. Define 3 non-negotiable boundaries in your life. Behaviors that you absolutely will not tolerate from anyone, no matter who they are. It could be that you don't tolerate being spoken to with contempt, that you don't tolerate people canceling plans with you at the last moment repeatedly, that you don't tolerate them using your personal information to manipulate you. Define those lines clearly in your mind. Now comes the hard part. The next time someone crosses one of those lines, there has to be an immediate consequence, non-negotiable, without eternal explanations or infinite second chances. Consequence. That's the only way your boundaries become real, the only way people understand that your kindness has frontiers. The 6th truth explains why you feel so empty inside, despite giving so much on the outside. When you're good to everyone, you're not good to anyone, including yourself. There's a concept in psychology about finite emotional resources. You can't give infinite attention, unlimited energy, endless support. You have an emotional tank with limited capacity, and every interaction, every favor, every time you prioritize another's needs over yours, that tank empties a little more. The devastating problem of your indiscriminate kindness is that you're constantly draining that tank to fill the tanks of people who probably wouldn't do the same for you, while your own tank is perpetually empty. You feel exhausted not because you work hard or have many responsibilities. You feel exhausted because you're emotionally bankrupt, giving resources you don't have, sacrificing energy you need to survive. When you observe how strategic men manage their emotional resources, you see a clear pattern. First, they fill themselves, then they fill their inner circle. Then, if there's anything left, they consider the rest. Not from selfishness, but from sustainability. An empty man can't give anything of value. He can only give from desperation, from need, from accumulated resentment. Shelby makes sure his own needs are covered before considering others, not because he's cruel, but because he understands that a weak, exhausted, resentful leader can't lead anything. Your infinite kindness is turning you into a resented, bitter, empty version of yourself, and paradoxically, that makes you less capable of genuinely helping anyone. The solution requires a radical change of priorities. For the next 30 days, your emotional well-being, your energy, your peace of mind are your absolute #1 priority. Before saying yes to any external request, ask yourself, do I have the emotional resources to do this without completely draining myself? And if I do, does this person deserve that level of investment from me? If the answer is no to either of those questions, the answer to the request is no. Without guilt, without elaborate explanations. Simply no. The seventh and final truth closes the circle. The day you stop trying to be good to everyone is the day you start being respected by those who matter. This transformation isn't going to be comfortable. It's not going to be easy. It's probably going to be one of the hardest things you do in your life. Because when you start establishing boundaries, when you start saying no, when you start prioritizing your own well-being over others' comfort, you're going to face massive resistance. The people who benefited from your infinite kindness are going to try to make you feel guilty. They're going to accuse you of having changed. They're going to say you became selfish, cold, different. And they're right about one thing. Yes, you changed. You stopped being their unlimited free resource and became a man with self-worth, with clear boundaries, with self-respect. That transformation always generates friction because you're altering the power balance in your relationships. The people who truly value you are going to adapt. They're going to respect your new boundaries. They're going to recognize that a stronger, more centered you with more energy is better for the relationship than a resentful, drained, empty you. The people who didn't truly value you are going to disappear from your life. And that's not loss. That's necessary cleansing. Thomas Shelby doesn't have hundreds of friends. He has a small circle of absolute loyalists. Not because he's antisocial, but because he understands that the quality of relationships matters infinitely more than quantity. He prefers to have 5 people who would die for him than 50 who would use and discard him. Your life is going to improve dramatically, not when you have more people around you, but when you have the right people around you. And the only way to filter the right people is by establishing high standards, clear boundaries, real consequences. Those who pass that filter are the ones who deserve your kindness, your loyalty, your energy. The rest can leave. Now, before closing this message, I need to ask you something. If this content made you reflect, if something I said resonated with your experience, if you felt that someone is finally speaking the truth about your suffering, give me a like. Not for the algorithm, not because I need validation, but because that like is your way of saying, I understood the message, I'm ready to change. And if you want to continue receiving content that challenges you, that makes you uncomfortable, that forces you to look at yourself in the mirror and recognize difficult truths, subscribe to the channel. This isn't entertainment, it's real education about how power dynamics, respect, and human relationships work. Not everyone is ready for this level of brutal honesty, but if you made it this far, you're probably one of the few who is ready. Let me leave you with a final reflection I want you to carry with you. Your kindness isn't the problem. It never was. The problem is that you've been giving away something valuable to people who don't appreciate its value. It's like you have diamonds in your pocket and you're throwing them in the trash because you're afraid people will think you're selfish if you don't share them with everyone. Those diamonds, your time, your energy, your loyalty, your support, should be reserved for people who understand their value, who treat them with the respect they deserve, who reciprocate with the same level of investment. The suffering you feel now, that emptiness in your chest, that feeling of being used and discarded, all of that ends the day you decide that your kindness is no longer free, that it has an entry price, that it's only available for those who prove they deserve it. That day, that precise moment of decision, is when you stop being a victim of your own generosity and become the architect of your own respect. Thomas Shelby wasn't born being respected. He built himself into a man impossible to ignore through conscious decisions, unshakable boundaries, predictable consequences. You can do exactly the same. You don't need to be a gangster. You don't need to be cold or cruel. You only need to understand that being selective with your kindness doesn't make you bad. It makes you intelligent. You only need to recognize that establishing boundaries doesn't make you selfish. It makes you sustainable. You only need to accept that saying no to what doesn't serve your interests frees you to say yes to what really matters. The power was always in your hands. You were just too busy giving it away for free to notice it. Today is the day you claim it back. Today is the day you decide that your suffering ends, not because the world changes, but because you change the way you interact with the world. And believe me when I tell you this, the day you make that change, the day you establish those boundaries, The day you start valuing yourself as much as you value others, you're going to look back and wonder how you could live so long any other way. That's your destiny if you have the courage to claim it. The question is, do you have it?